Child. Y'all, I feel like going in today. Y'all feel like talking? Let's have a conversation. So, did you hear? Isn't she fat? Girl, isn't she built bad? Oh my goodness, she's so dark. What school did she go to? How is he on her arm? Who is she? She obviously didn't come from a certain segment of the population. She obviously wasn't raised right. She's got an accent. That's going to stop her from ever getting to be anybody in life. Oh my God, she's ghetto. She's from the hood. What? Yo, I was sitting up here and I happened to be listening to some of the commentary on the movie Sinners. And in the movie Sinners, Michael B. Jordan has a love interest who is a full-figure diva and a plus-size fashionista. So for some reason, this has been dominating the discourse around that movie. And it got me to thinking about this. Who deserves you? Who deserves to be your client, your customer, your rabid fan and follower? Matter of fact, who dictates how high you fly? Who determines how successful you're going to be or not? And I want to have this real conversation. Because as we all know, when I started Curvy Girls Lingerie, I was 327 pounds. And I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not even going to hold y'all. I remember not even knowing I was 327 pounds. I did not know. All I knew is I had to leave this relationship of 7 years with my ex-fiance. The one who proposed on my graduation day. May 25th, 2007, Rutgers School of Law, Newark, from NJ Pack in Newark, New Jersey. We had a great relationship until we did not. And I left March 15, 2010, not knowing that within 3 months I would meet the most incredible man, 6'4", famous actor, based on something I wrote on Craigslist, Two to Tango. Some of y'all know that half of the story. But I honestly did not think he would show up for our first date. I honestly did not think I was worth showing up for. I've left this man of 7 years who I've known since I was a teenager in St. Louis, Missouri in high school. When that man came out of the darkness, and he looked better in person than he did in photos. I remember being caught up in what am I watching? What am I looking at? And he smiled, grabbed me by the hand and took me upstairs in Sardi's restaurant. And y'all know how the cookie crumbled. Y'all know how that ended. So I want to take it from the perspective of you have all these people talking about she doesn't look the part. I thought it was this, that, and the other. I'm not getting into all of that. What I'm going to get into is how easily over year after year you can put it in somebody's head that they don't deserve love. They don't deserve attention. They don't deserve a good man, a good woman, and a little dog Toto too. They don't deserve to have great clients. They aren't related to such and such. They did not come from money. Who do you think you are? And that's what I want to talk about today. Who deserves you? I have been in business for 15 years. Okay, 2 years you had to take out for homelessness. But okay, we understand that. I did not believe I deserved to be on his arm until he grabbed me by my hands in different cities and made it clear she with me. Whereas I would have sank into the background and been right behind him. Like I'd have been cool to be in the background. He was like, play the foreground. Play the foreground. This is where you belong. If I wanted someone else, I would be with someone else. I would be with someone else. I remember one time he grabbed my stomach. Now, I'm not the same size as I was on 327. And he didn't grab it in disgust. He was like, what you hiding for? This is some real life stuff. But do you see how over time that gets into a woman's psyche? That gets into a man's psyche. That gets into a lot of people's psyche. You want representation. And then when the representation shows up, there's still this thing inside. Doesn't look right. Doesn't look the part. Most people are not Hollywood looking. Most people have not had surgery. Most people have not had all of these things. And imagine, that's why people don't want to start businesses. That's why people don't want to show up on certain things. That's why some people don't want to take pictures, because they're worried about what everybody else is going to say about them. So imagine me coming out the gate at 327 pounds talking about being a full-figure diva and a plus-size fashionista. I refuse to allow people to say plus-size women or fat girls or big girls need love too. That's a dead one right there. Because I was taught by this man after all these years, not even knowing I was 327, I can't find things. He wasn't worried because he liked what he liked. His thought process wasn't marked by what Hollywood said. If he want to be with a sister, he gonna be. And then check me about this. So my point to you all is, who deserves you? Who deserves you? Because we spend so much time thinking about how I'm going to get through the door, how I'm going to do this and that. There are companies, corporations, foundations, nonprofits, individuals, and private associations who want you, who need you. And because you're playing around like, oh, I don't look, sound, and act the part. I have never looked and sounded and acted the part. I still have an accent. After all these years, I love eye makeup. I love to be glitterati. I am tired of wearing black and navy blue. I am not the attorney anymore. I am the international professional speaker, top Fortune 100 corporate sales trainer, five-time #1 best-selling author. And it ain't bragging if it's true, and it ain't tricking if you got it, just like I got his heart. This gorgeous specimen who's been dead almost 10, he's been dead a long time. But what he left with me, even through the good, the bad, and the ugly, I remember the things he said to me. So when it comes to starting a company, growing and building a company, I never thought I'd have some of the clients that I have. You better believe it. I did not. I thought I would spend my time just teaching women how to grow and scale their companies by winning pitch competitions, by standing up and asking for what they want. Matter of fact, I'm the co-host of the Power Ass podcast with my queen, Lisa Zeiderman, managing partner of Miller Zeiderman. You know they do high-end divorces. You already know. So she's out here fighting for women all the time to get what they're due. She doesn't have a problem with asking. And that man taught me to stand on business. Everybody's not going to be your client, your customer, or your raving fan. You're going to have some people who won't even tell you to your face they don't like you, but will build narratives around you to make other people not. Do you know what's the truth? Even though I'm still Precious Latanya Williams, born in Fort Knox, Kentucky, grew up in the hood of St. Louis, Missouri. I did. And I was an unwanted child. That is not my story today. I don't go where I don't feel wanted. I don't hang with people who feel comfortable with rejecting me and thinking I'm going to stand there. Baby, I'm going to stand on business. I don't fit the mold. I'm 200 pounds. Matter of fact, I'm 219 pounds. And I got my auntie worried about, she's saying my clavicle and saying I'm thin. People say I'm much thinner. But when I was a bad bitch with a power pitch at 327, I'm the ultimate rainmaker at 219 pounds. I show up because I like to shine bright like the diamond and the star I always knew I was at 5 years old. I got the blood of this woman, Precious Dolores Williams, 1933 to 2000. Been gone 25 years. I got the blood of my grandfather, Raymond Woodrow Williams, 1929 to 2004. So when I say who deserves you, oftentimes we're worried about how we show up. The people you're around, are they deserving of you? Are they? Because sometimes as you go up this ladder, you got to cut people off because they're only there for the shine. Or as soon as you get above them in some way that they think, they don't want to hang no more. Now all of a sudden you didn't change. I'm not 327 anymore. There are some things that have changed. I'm not homeless. I'm not an alcoholic. You can throw up my past in my face. I'm okay with that because that has not stopped these companies from working with me because I get real results. So when we talk about who determines your success, yes, it's crazy right now. It's crazy. There is no company, there's no person who's unscathed right now. Not the millionaires, the billionaires, nobody's unscathed. But I'll be darned if I don't stay focused on my focus. God God had me come out of my mother's womb, knit me in my mother's womb, and knew how my story was going to play out. It wasn't going to be pretty for most of it. It was going to be hard. But it taught me to focus. The Bowery mission taught me to focus. Dress for Success, bottomless closet. When I came out of homelessness, I've been clean and sober 8 years plus. The way I was before is not me today. Yes, I still got that funk, that fire, and that energy. But now it's turned into something that shows others. You can do this. I don't have time to be subtle. I bring that fire, that funk, and that noise. When I walk up to Nicki Minaj's Moment for Life, please believe, when I slayed Goliath with the sling, I slayed Goliath. And the Goliath was internal. The Goliath is society. The Goliath is the people telling you, oh, you can't do it. Baby, you never tried. And don't compare me to a Hollywood person because I didn't have that life. I got it out the mud. I got it out the trenches. But best believe if you see me in a room, I belong there. And as the great Kelly Charles Collins, my friend, says, I belong in every room, every room I'm in. But I don't belong everywhere. If respect is not on the table, your girl is gone. If you've been plotting behind the scenes, please believe God already showed me, revealed. So we can keep it cordial, we can keep it gangster, how you want to go about it. My energy has changed because I don't have to prove. They're coming to me, not because they want the cookie cutter and the traditional, they want transformation. So let me go back and ask y'all this question again. Who deserves you? Are you with the man or the woman who loves you? Or are they chipping away at who you are? Or who deserves you? Do you have someone who will kick your butt? Matter of fact, me and my book coach and publisher of Penn Legacy, Sharon Monet, let me tell you something. I called her yesterday because I was just having this moment. When I tell you she snatched my edges, when I tell you she put on my big girl panties and was giving me that work, it's because she knew years ago that I was going to go up this ladder. In the natural, it doesn't look good to everybody else. It's like, oh, she don't, oh, remember when her tooth was out. Baby, all that happened. And yet it did not stop. Because my success is not predicated on them. It's predicated on the one above who puts me in certain spaces. So I'm asking you again, who deserves you? And when it comes to clients and customers and raving fans and followers and all that kind of thing, everybody's not going to be nice. There are some people who want to trade places with you until they realize that you thought your life was hard. Oh, baby. It does get harder in a lot of ways. You just can't see it. Being able to use the spirit of discernment, being able to do certain things. And so I talk to the people who've been there. And luckily I stayed in the game and stayed persistent and consistent enough to be able to have this conversation. So let's get back to sinners. Let's get back to what that brought up for me. I remember thinking, I had that man on a pedestal. How I couldn't understand, why would he want me? I'm looking back years later like, I get it. I was different. I was different to him. I didn't look the way Hollywood said a woman on his arm should look. And that was probably fascinating. I was a poet. I'm still a poet. I could speak, I could do all these sort of things. So my point to all of you is, I know who I am. I walk in with confidence, not a false confidence today, because I've been doing this. I've been doing the work. So who deserves you? What networks are you really in? Are we doing this for and giggles? Are we just passing time? The Power to Ask podcast is all about asking. And it's funny, when you get up in certain circles, you're not talking business. But business will come out of it because you have something that someone else doesn't have in that network. So who gets to determine how high you fly? You can allow this world to tell you it's over. Or like me, when I went through homelessness by my darn self. When I was eating out of garbage cans by my darn self. And a lot of it was self-inflicted because I didn't think I was worth anything. I remember my line sister, my 13, Illinois, Janelle Lofton, we're both from St. Louis. She said, Precious, I wish you knew. You are enough as you are. And I just could not understand what she meant. It's funny, at 46, I get it. In my 40s, I get it. This is the 40-year plus glow up. I don't begrudge our young queens because they're going to go through the same thing. And if they're lucky, they're going to have the right women, the kings and queens around them. It's going to be like, hold up, wait, get it together. You allowing other people who couldn't lace up your bootstraps to tell you who you are, ain't never done what you done. If you're not fighting in the trenches with me, who are you talking to? We wrote, Sharon and I, those 5 #1 best-selling books are still selling to this day. It's allowing for companies and corporations to find me. Who wrote Bad Bitches and Power Pitches? Who wrote Pitching for Profit, the Bad Bitches Playbook to Convert Conversations into Currency? Who wrote The Pitch Queen and Rainmaking 101? No AI. I'm not mad at people who use AI to write books. I ain't got no problem with y'all. But mine was written for real, for real. And so that allows the Columbia Universities, the Spelmans, the Morehouses, the Howards, the George Washington University, the Harvards, and all of them, they know what it is. I don't have to have an Ivy League degree to teach Ivy League graduates. I don't have to have been in all of these schools to understand that our young people do not know how to communicate on an application, let alone in the interview. Y'all think pitching is just limited to asking for money? No, these people need jobs and promotions and how to change the narrative on themselves. Pitching showed me things that I'm still shocked by. So let me come into the comments. I just want to acknowledge all of y'all because I know y'all could be doing something else. And in about, let me just see what time it is. Let me just see what time it is. This didn't. Hold on. Trying to see what time it is. Anyway, so I've already met with this. So I'm the pitch trainer for a $1.5 million or higher pitch competition, right? So the entrepreneurs, the business owners, they have to generate that. So I'm gonna be on there with 6:30. So I'm trying to figure out why my computer's trying. Oh, got it. Okay, so let me see what time it is. Okay, 6:20. So I got to go in the next 4 minutes. Anyway, so just so you all know, so let me give it to you. Let me see who's on. And just to say, if y'all got any questions, throw it out. Pitch, please. Pitch, please. But who deserves you? Who gets to determine how successful you're going to be? Sometimes people are still looking at you with the past view of who you are, not knowing you've done the dirty work. You've done the hard work to stand up and face off with people. You have the old version of Precious. The growing and maturing Precious has entered the building. I just want you to know. That funny fat girl is now the killer pitch master and ultimate rainmaker. Matter of fact, I'm a better friend, a sister. I'm a better confidant. I show up for people. I show up even when they don't think I'm going to show up, and it's always so loving. I went to, you know what I went to today? I went to a Stop and Shop in downtown Brooklyn. I think it's down Stop and Shop. And here I am, y'all. For some reason, I really wanted 2 drumsticks from and I'm sitting there ordering. I see this woman looking at me. And I'm looking at her, older woman, beautiful woman, and she says, "Can I ask you a question?" And I said, "Yeah." "Yeah, I didn't know I had all over my teeth." "Girl, y'all." And she said, "Are you the pitch master?" I said, "Killer pitch master?" She said, "Yeah." I said, "How did you know it was me?" She said, "Your eyes and your voice." And she said, "Dang, I forgot to bring a business card so we can share it." I said, "You got LinkedIn, let's pop it." I said, "Matter of fact, let me do you another. Let's get that LinkedIn picture on." And I could tell she really felt something because I'm not accessible to everyone. But what made me feel good is that we made each other's day. It's those things that still mean the most to me. It's real human interaction. So all of us need to walk in a different way now. You may not have all the confidence in the world, but you keep asking and you keep persistent and you keep being consistent and you will beat resistance, period. So Zoe, what's up? Me and Zoe was just on the Power to Ask podcast. Oh, Shaka! Hey, ATHK99. I'm so glad you're here. Unique. Okay, Queen. You know I've been peeping you. Hold on. I gotta figure out how to do this. Okay. Unique. I'm over here learning to set boundaries to save my life. No more handing out my time like Halloween kid. I know that's right. So let me just see. Y'all know your girl be over here struggling. Trying to get this right. Okay, so let me just make sure I do this. Hold on. Y'all know y'all girl be. I want to make sure I get everybody. Hey, Gina, how are you, Queen? Colette, what's up, Colette? That's my queen. That's my queen in Boston. I just saw her for the LinkedIn Alive Boston. You know, y'all, we had a good time. Okay, so all right. Woo! Say it. That is not my story today. Okay, Uniqua. Queen Sharon, Pen Legacy, y'all. Y'all want to work with a book publisher? And coach that will not have you all caught up and left on red. Let me tell you something. She didn't put on my big girl and smack me around a little bit. I kind of liked it too, because she was like, I ain't none of these little people that won't say something to you. I'm going to snatch you up. And you need someone like that. That's why I said, who deserves you? Who deserves you? Who's going to give it to you real and raw and be like, now what we going to do? We're going to give him booty, or we give him excellence? That's what I'm talking about. Jason Muhammad, hey. Oh, my perfect 10. Shakira's on here. Hey, Shakira, woman of worth. Uniqua, I love this question. Uniqua, no AI. Right. I mean, if you do that, that's cool. Just the companies, corporations, foundations, and nonprofits and individuals and private associations, they're not buying that from me. I write business books because my target market had to be that. But you know who hooked me up with that? Sharon. That's why I said, y'all, who deserves you? Who do you deserve to work with? Who can see something in you long before you see it in yourself? Susie, my SBLC, Small Business Owners Community. She's my sister, and I'm a member of the Small Business Owners Community. And I'm hosting the Small Business Awards in September. Okay. I love you, Susie. Hey, and then Uniqua, what is the best way to disconnect from old networks that don't fit? Do you say something or just stop showing up? Hold on, I'm just looking at the time. It's 6:25. Okay, I got 1 minute. Uniqua, to be honest with you, and I'm sure Sharon and a lot of other people can talk about this. It is difficult at times, and sometimes it's really, really easy. If I can no longer grow, I got to go. If I feel like people are trying to tokenize me, and I don't mean because of my skin color, but trying to make it seem like they made me, I almost feel like, what did Jay-Z say? Make another. You didn't make me. God made me. And when you stop hanging around where you're not growing, you can start to see the places you will be able to grow. And here's something else I want y'all to know. You don't have the money to be in all networks and all groups. I didn't have the money a lot, but I had a talent that got me through the door because of someone knowing me. So my talent is I'm a world-class master communicator, and I can package, position, and pitch people and show them how to do it for themselves and write their own paychecks. That's a very different person from I'm just coaching you to manifest. No, that's not what we doing. So again, to go back to sinners, who are you choosing to? Are you choosing on desperation? Are you choosing because you feel grateful to be in this space because people will make you feel like that for the rest of your life? I'm appreciative of those who've opened the door, cracked the door so I can walk all the way in. And then I would edify them by showing up and showing out the way they knew I could and then take it up a notch. So Queen, I've just had to leave. I've had to have a final conversation. And sometimes there's no conversation needed to be had because I've been feeling rejected and I move. I'm not someone who's it may take me 6 months to finally say no and I'm out. But at the end of the day, too fat, too black, no Ivy League degree, still has an accent, been rejected, alcoholic, homeless, kicked out of law school, all sorts of things, not wanted by my parents. All of us have a story, even if we are afraid to tell others, been rejected by men and women and organizations. And yet I'm still here because the God in me is bigger than what people have ever said about me. I mean, I go to therapy. I do counseling. I have a psychiatrist and a therapist. I have great networks and they will always check on me to make sure I'm right. Just like I will check on them. Sometimes you just know the right time to call somebody because you know, you feel it in your bones. God has told you. So I want to say to all of you, your success depends on how persistent and consistent you're going to be. They may tell you you don't fit it. Break the mold. Break it so that others know that they can do it too. My story isn't like Tony Robbins, Les Brown, Lisa Nichols, or any of them. I respect all of them, but my story still stands. My story is still out there. My story I'm not going to shy away from. But at the end of the day, that's the old story. The new story is a 40-year plus glow up. I'm the killer pitch master turned ultimate rainmaker. Take your man, your woman, and your little dog Toto too. It's a shame. I'm a whole snack, come fetch me. But I'm also the best in the world when it comes to pitching. You can bring up other people. I can teach, I can train, I can host, and I can create. Very few people can do that. So I love you all from the bottom of my heart to the depths of my soul. If this resonated with you, type pitch please in the audience. And I want you to ask yourself, who deserves you? Who determines how high you fly? Who should be around you? How do you create raving fans and customers and followers? And how do you get in the rooms where people will consistently say that? And I want to send a special shout out to Luminary CEO, Kate Luzio and her entire team. I want to send a shout out to Verizon Business, Verizon Small Business Digital Ready. I want to send a shout out to all of my clients that I don't often get to tell y'all about because things are happening behind the scenes. But I want to say thank you. I want to say thank you to my customers for y'all purchasing, whether it's a flash sale or just something going on. You meet me, you make me feel good. I make you feel good because this is the real me. Ain't no future in my front and the mask is off. Let's get this popping. And finally, to my support network, and y'all know who y'all are. Y'all get those phone calls. We cry together. We hang together. We breathe together. We something's lost. We're gonna hold it down. Shout out to Savvy Ladies. Shout out to SBLC. Shout out to all of y'all. I love y'all, but I gotta go and be on this call. Okay, I love you all from the bottom of my heart to the depths of my soul. I am Precious Williams, proud founder and CEO of the Perfect Pitch Group. We show you how to make it rain and what? Slay the game. Period. Bye.